a quiet city, in the year 631, a delegation of 60 Christians rides into Medina from Najran in the far south of Arabia. They wear robes of fine Yemeni cloth and crosses of gold, and when the hour of their prayer arrives, the Prophet of Islam does something that still surprises people 14 centuries later. He lets them pray inside his own mosque. These men are not enemies. The Quran already has a name for them. It calls them the people of the book, al-Kitab, the people of the book. It is the Quran's own term for Jews and Christians, the communities who received scripture long before Muhammad was ever born. And the Quran does not call their books lies. It calls them revelation. It names the Torah, given to Moses, and the Gospel, given to Jesus, as light and guidance sent down from God. And yet, across 1400 years, these three faiths have disagreed, sometimes gently, sometimes bitterly. Once you understand where that disagreement actually lives, you will never read this relationship the same way again. To understand it, you have to stand for a moment in 7th century Arabia. This was not an empty desert of idol worshippers alone. To the north lay the Christian Byzantine Empire and its Arab allies, the Ghassanids. To the east stood Persia. To the south, in Najran, and across the sea in Christian Abyssinia, churches already rose against the sky. And in Medina itself, the city Muhammad would one day govern, lived powerful Jewish tribes, the Banu Kainuka, the Banu Nadir, the Banu Qurayza, reading their Torah, keeping their Sabbath, some of them waiting for a prophet they believed was still to come. When the first persecuted Muslims fled Mecca, it was a Christian king in Abyssinia, the Negus, who gave them shelter. The world Islam entered was already full of the book. Muhammad did not arrive to a blank page. He stepped into a conversation that had been running for centuries, and the Quran joined that conversation as a confirmer. Again and again, it describes itself with a single Arabic word, musaddiq, the one who confirms what came before. It says that God sent down the book in truth, confirming the scriptures already there, and that he had revealed the Torah and the Gospel. The Quran does not ask a Muslim to reject Moses. It commands him to believe in Moses. It does not ask him to reject Jesus. It calls Jesus the Messiah, born of the Virgin Mary, a healer of the sick, a raiser of the dead, a word from God. In one verse, the believers are told to declare, "We believe in what was revealed to us, and in what was revealed to Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, and Jesus. And we make no distinction between them." This is the heart of it. In the Muslim view, one God sent one message through many messengers, and the Quran is simply the last link in a chain that runs straight back through the Bible. That respect was not only words. When Muhammad first governed Medina, he issued a document historians call the Constitution of Medina, one of the earliest of its kind. In it, as Reza Aslan and Montgomery Watt have both noted, the Jewish tribes were recognized as a community alongside the Muslims, with their own faith protected. The Quran even instructs how to speak across the divide. Do not argue with the people of the book except in the best manner, it says, and tell them our God and your God is one. When those Christians from Najran came to debate the very nature of Jesus, the Quran did not answer them with a sword. It answered with an argument and then invited them to a mutual prayer for the truth. But this is where the shared road begins to divide. Because the Quran confirms the Bible and then it corrects it. For Christians, Jesus is the Son of God, crucified and risen, one person of a Holy Trinity. The Quran affirms almost every thread of his story, except the ones a Christian would say matter most. It honors the virgin birth, it honors the miracles, but it denies that God has a son. It rejects the Trinity, insisting on a oneness so absolute that God neither fathers nor is fathered, neither divides nor is shared. And in one of its most startling passages, it says of the crucifixion that they did not kill him, and they did not crucify him, but that it was only made to appear so, the same Jesus, a different ending. On the one question that defines Christianity, the two scriptures part. Which leads to the deepest problem of all, the one that finally explains the disagreement. If the Torah and the Gospel were genuine revelation, why do they not simply match the Quran? The Quran's answer is a single heavy word: tahrif, distortion. It accuses some among the people of the book of altering words, of hiding part of what was sent down, of twisting scripture with their tongues so that people would mistake a human invention for the speech of God. And Muslim scholars have argued about what this means ever since. The 11th century thinker Ibn Hazm took the hard position that the biblical text itself had been physically corrupted. Others held a softer view, that the words survived, but their meaning had been buried, misread, reinterpreted away from the truth. Either way, notice what the accusation is not. It is not that the Bible was always false. It is that something sacred, somewhere along the way, was lost. And this is the reframe most people never reach. The tension between Islam and the Bible is not a war between a true book and a fake one. It is closer to a family argument over a shared inheritance. All three faiths trace their line to Abraham. All three bow to the God of Abraham. The Quran does not tell Muslims that the Torah and Gospel were worthless. It tells them they were holy, and that Islam came to uncover the original message beneath the centuries: the worship of one God, alone, without partner. A Muslim is obligated by the Quran itself to revere Moses and Jesus as prophets of that same God. As Karen Armstrong has observed, this was never framed as a rival scripture arriving to erase the others. It arrived claiming to be their completion. You can still hear this every single day when more than 1.5 billion Muslims pray. The prophets of the Bible live inside their scripture. Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, and Isa, the name for Jesus, spoken with reverence. Mary is the only woman named directly in the entire Quran, and a whole chapter carries her name. In interfaith halls, in university seminaries, in quiet conversations between neighbors who share a street, the same debate those Najran Christians carried into Medina is still being held. The question never truly closed. It only changed rooms. Because in the end, the three faiths agree on almost everything. One God, one Abraham, one long procession of prophets carrying one word. They walk together for nearly the entire length of the road. And then they arrive at a single figure, standing at the center of history, a man from Nazareth. And there, on the question of who he really was, the path splits in three. The Quran came, in its own words, not to erase the book, but to confirm it and to correct it. Almost everything else is commentary on that one difference.